How's the psyche of the team after two straight games going down to the last second?
Well, there's no doubt there was great disappointment, after the two ball games, after each of them, and then collectively, you know, the fact you're 3 seconds from being in third place in the league, um, that's just a reality. And so I met with the guys. I'm like, hey, we dug our own hole, so let's dig our way out of it. And so asked them to be very determined, and I thought we've had some solid practices, but you never know till you get hit in the mouth out there again. When you're in your home environment and everything's good, this is like our womb, right? Everything's great. Well, we get out in the real world, we're going to find out.
That flight back from Rutgers, one of the longest flights you've ever been
on? Yeah, it was tough. I had my daughter with me, so she was great. So she blamed the refs mostly, which I thought was a nice gesture. Okay, that's it.
Hey, Tim, on Monday you said you're still about a week out of knowing anything concrete on Ed.
So I think next Monday you should ask me.
Okay, so
that would be a week, right?
You have zero kind of idea of a time frame for him?
I know he will not play against. He will not play against Northwestern.
Okay.
I know that for a fact.
Had about a second left of time in each of the games. Each of the last two games after those kind of last second buckets. Do you plan to change anything on the setup of those last second plays, or to keep with the baseball pass?
Oh, you mean on offense?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, with a second, you're really limited in your options, right? Some guys can try and bait a foul, like try and take a charge. Maybe do you flip up a half quarter? If you've got something, just write it down. I'll take it. But there's four options we could run from where we're at. But usually you hope to get about 3 seconds. So when you're down to one, you're just hoping for a catch, and that's hard enough because they're going to double team. So we actually, I think, even flipped it around a little bit to try and disguise who was going back, Roby or one of the other guys was going to go back and get the catch against Rutgers. But quite frankly, I don't think we had a timeout. Did we have? We didn't have a timeout for that, did we? And sometimes there's so much disappointment with the guys, that they can't get past that, and you have to. You never know what could happen in that last second. So sometimes it's your demeanor too. That's just as important, your psyche and your demeanor, as anything.
Playing Northwestern for the second time, you changed much strategy-wise?
Well, strategy didn't work the first time, so plan B, there'll be some plan B things in place to try and take away, 11, 12 threes. We just cannot give up that many threes. Now, their stats, Seamus got me their home and away stats, and they haven't shot it as well at home, knock on wood, than they have on the road. Is that true, Seamus? That's exactly right. And so, maybe there's something to that too, but we can't let them get hot on us. So I think taking away their transition, their jump shooting is a big deal.
On the topic of Northwestern, they have 16 wins, and something that this might be the year they make the tournament for the first time. What has led to their, surge, and what improvements have you seen out of them from the previous years you faced them?
I think he's done a good job with local talent. He's got, even though Pardon and Skelly are Ohio kids, he's got those other three Chicago kids, and McIntosh is right there across the way. That's helped them to a degree. And I think they're really well coached. I think Chris does a tremendous job. I think offensively, Brian James is with him. Brian was in the NBA 17 years. They pick apart matchups just like an NBA team. They really do a nice job. If you look at Chris, he's got 5 slips of paper for 5 different guys they can run actions for or at. And so I think they game plan offensively about as well as anybody. They've done a nice job in our guards, too, defensively with their length. They've been a good defensive team. So we'll have to find a way to break them down. We have to get out in transition. We've got to make some outside shots and yet take away theirs.
How nice has it been to see Jack kind of break out his slump and get some big shots?
Well, we've always needed that three-point shooting at that spot, whether it be Jariah Horn or Jack. And Jariah's struggled last few games, and Jack's really picked it up. And, he would have been the hero. He would have been what we're all talking about here had it not been for that last second putback. And I'm really happy because it's easy to lose faith when you've gone from starter to not even playing. How about that? A lot of times when circumstances change, your loyalty changes. Like, well, I'm not playing. It's not my fault. You start to blame people. But Jack was never like that. He's like, I'm just waiting for my chance, and I'll be ready. And he has been.
How much did that attitude help him kind of get through that rough stretch?
Oh, there's no question. That's the only thing that can get you through it. He's got a great attitude.
Did he kind of change anything as far as preparing or anything like that in practice? Or
I don't think so. I think, we put him on the scout team, so, you get to be the other guy's shooter all the time, so it doesn't matter if you make, miss, or otherwise. I think that helps just build, you play a little more freely.
So in this 4-game stretch, how has it affected you?
There's more gray hair in there. I just, on that plane ride home from Rutgers, I was, sitting next to my daughter, and, I said to myself, if we don't walk out of this plane with a determined mindset, then we could be in trouble. So I huddled the guys up at the back of the plane. I'm like, listen, we're not going to blame ourselves. I'm not going to blame the players. You can't blame the coaches. You're not going to blame this guy or that guy for not getting the rebound or falling down or whatever it could be, right? We could blame the refs. I don't care, right? We're not going to blame anybody. We're just going to look at it for what it is, know that we should have confidence that we can win anywhere at any time, right? And go out and dig ourselves out of this. So I want determination, I want toughness, mentally, physically, and I want us ready to go. And we practiced all right with that. And I don't know if that was a pep talk to me or to them. Either way, it's probably both, because it's easy to get down. It's easy to look at the coulda, woulda, shouldas, but that's not reality.
With it being such a young team, are you worried that these closer losses will maybe hurt their psyche a little?
Well, I'm worried when you look at the next 5 opponents that we play and how good they are. Yeah, giving these 2 away really hurts, but we are what our record says we are, and we're going to have to come out and just be great every night out. And so we'll learn a lot about ourselves over the next 2.5 weeks.
What do you like with what you've seen from Isaiah Roby since he's been in the starting lineup?
Well, I like it when he plays with force. I like it when he's active defensively. I think he's learning how to play harder, push himself harder. He's a guy that's been, uberly talented at a 3A school in Illinois, which is the second to biggest class. Excuse me. So you don't always have to exert your full maximum, right? And even in summer basketball, he didn't have to. Now you come here and you're challenged every day in practice, and overcoming an injury plus, and so I think he's coming along. He's the kind of guy I think that we'll see over time is going to have X amount of triple-double guy, X amount of points, rebounds, assists, block shots, steals. Like he will fill the stat sheet. He does at times now, and we just need him to do it more often, and that's part of being a true freshman.
I know they're not from Evanston, but it's just kind of like a pseudo homecoming for
Definitely.
Glenn,
Yeah.
Ed, and
All of them.
Isaiah.
Yeah, all the Illinois kids are. You can tell they're extra pumped up or extra nervous. I won't tell you who's nervous, but he's a freshman. No, they come out and they really want to do well, whether we're playing Illinois or Northwestern. All right, thanks.
Thank you.